Sometimes, the best movie moments weren't even planned. Ever wonder what happens when an actor messes up or something unexpected happens on set?
Let us see what you brought.
Turns out, some bloopers were so good, directors just had to keep them. Curious, which ones made the cut? Here are those cuts. When movie bloopers were too good to cut.
Hey! Lay your palm flat on that tabletop!
Boom, it happened, and then I opened my hand, and then blood starts pouring everywhere, and I saw Jamie go, yeah.
1. The Godfather, 1972. The cat in Don Corleone's lap. You know that serious opening scene in The Godfather? The one where Don Corleone is petting a cat while making a big decision. Well, the cat wasn't supposed to be there at all. It literally just wandered onto the set. Marlon Brando saw it and decided to hold it during the scene. That's it. No one told him to.
Invited me to your house for a cup of coffee.
He just thought, why not? And honestly, it worked. What's funny is that the cat kept purring so loudly that the sound crew had trouble picking up Brando's voice. It was kind of a mess technically, but visually it looked amazing. The cat made Don Corleone seem even more calm and powerful, like nothing could shake him. Francis Ford Coppola, the director, later said, that cat was just lying around. Brando picked it up, and the rest is history. 2. Blade Runner, 1982. Pris breaks the glass. In Blade Runner, there's a scene where Pris is running from Sebastian, all tense and dramatic. Now here's where it gets real. Daryl Hannah, who plays Pris, actually slipped while filming and smashed her elbow right through a car window. It wasn't part of the choreography. She was running, lost her footing, and bam, glass everywhere. She ended up needing stitches, but like a total pro, she stayed in character until the scene was done. One of the crew members later shared, "We all paused, thinking we'd need to stop, but Daryl kept going." It was incredible. Director Ridley Scott thought the moment looked so gritty and real, he left it in the final cut. Honestly, how many times have you accidentally bumped into something and tried to play it cool? Daryl did that with a bleeding arm in front of a full film crew. 3. Django Unchained, 2012. Candy's bleeding hand. Now this one is wild. During a scene in Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio's character slams his hand down hard. So hard that he accidentally crushed a glass and cut his palm open. But here's the kicker. He didn't stop acting. He just kept going with blood dripping from his hand.
Hey! Lay your palm flat on that tabletop!
Boom, it happened, and then I opened my hand, and then blood starts pouring everywhere, and I saw Jamie go, yeah. Like this, and Quentin like had his hand, and then he goes,
I was in the zone, Leo later said. Everyone on set was stunned, but he stayed so locked into the scene that they rolled with it. Tarantino loved the intensity. And when you rewatch it, knowing that the blood is real, it just hits different. It's that kind of unexpected moment that shows how far actors will go to keep a scene alive, even when it hurts. The 40-Year-Old Virgin, 2005, chest waxing scene. You know that wild chest waxing scene from the 40-Year-Old Virgin? Yeah, that wasn't acting. That was 100% real pain. Steve Carell had a bold idea. Let's not fake it, just do the real thing. And boy, did he regret that decision fast. Instead of using movie tricks or fake wax, they brought in an actual wax specialist and let it rip.
I hate you!
Literally, from the very first pull, the screams started. "Ah, Kelly Clarkson!" he yelled, completely off the cuff. That line, totally unplanned. The pain was so intense, Steve just blurted out the first thing that came to mind. The cast and crew were dying, laughing behind the camera, trying not to ruin the shot. Judd Apatow, the director, later said, "That was one take, and we used it all. You just can't fake that kind of reaction." Even Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, who were standing nearby, were both horrified and hysterical. It was chaos in the best way. Steve went through the entire waxing session just once. No retakes, no touch-ups, just real wax, real screams, and a moment that became one of the funniest scenes in comedy history. 5. The Hateful Eight, 2015. Destroying the antique guitar. Okay, this one's a little hard to believe. While filming The Hateful Eight, there's this tense scene where Kurt Russell's character grabs a guitar from Jennifer Jason Leigh and smashes it against a post.
Music time's over.
All part of the script, right? Yes, but there was one small problem no one saw coming. That guitar, it was a priceless antique, not the copy they were supposed to use. Kurt had no clue. He did what the scene called for, grabbed it and smashed it to bits. The second he did, Jennifer just stared at him, stunned. That look on her face, totally real. One crew member later said, "You could feel the panic in the room," and Jennifer apparently asked, "That wasn't the real one, was it?" Unfortunately, it was. The guitar was from the 1870s and had been borrowed from a museum. After that, the company that loaned it basically said, "Yeah, never again." Can't blame them. 6. Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, Stormtroopers head bump. Now this next one has become a favorite blooper for Star Wars fans everywhere. In the original Star Wars, there's a quick moment when a group of Stormtroopers walks through a door. But if you look closely, one of them walks straight into the top of the doorway with his helmet. Bonk! You'll miss it if you blink, but once you spot it, it's hilarious. What's funny is they kept it in the movie. George Lucas could have easily cut that part out, but nope, it stayed. Fans have made it into a running joke. There's even a sound effect added to it in some re-releases. People joke, "Stormtroopers can't shoot, and now we know they can't see where they're going either." It's a tiny mistake that ended up becoming a legendary moment. 7. Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981. Indy shoots The Swordsman. This one is pure movie gold, and it came from a bad stomach day. Harrison Ford was filming Raiders of the Lost Ark in the heat and wasn't feeling great. There was a big sword fight scene planned between Indiana Jones and a guy showing off fancy moves, but Harrison was drained. He said to the director, "Can I just shoot him instead?" Everyone laughed, but the director said, "You know what? That actually works." So instead of a long fight, Indy pulls out his gun and ends it right there. The audience loved it. People in the theater burst out laughing, and it became one of the most memorable parts of the movie. Harrison later joked, "Sometimes you just want to get through the day." And in this case, doing less gave us so much more. 8. The Dark Knight, 2008, The Hospital Explosion. There's a scene in The Dark Knight where Heath Ledger's Joker casually walks away as a hospital blows up behind him. But here's the thing, it didn't go as planned. The explosion was supposed to go off all at once, but it paused in the middle due to a technical hiccup. Now, most actors would probably break character, look confused, or ask for a reset, but not Heath. He stayed completely in Joker mode. Instead of panicking, he just started fiddling with the detonator, looking annoyed like, "Why isn't this working?" It was pure improvisation, and it totally fit the Joker's chaotic vibe. The explosions eventually kicked back in, and the whole scene ended up looking even cooler than expected. Director Christopher Nolan was so impressed, he kept the take in the final cut. It's now one of the most talked about scenes in superhero movie history. 9. Pretty Woman, 1990, The Jewelry Box Snap. If you've seen Pretty Woman, you probably remember the cute moment when Julia Roberts laughs out loud as Richard Gere snaps a jewelry box shut just as she's about to touch it. That laugh? Totally real. Richard wasn't supposed to do that. It was just a playful prank during a take. Julia reached in and snap, he closed it like a trap. Her reaction was a big surprised laugh, and the energy in the room shifted instantly.
Does it look okay?
Something's missing.
Well, nothing else is gonna fit into this dress, I'll tell you that.
Maybe something in this box. I don't want you to get too excited. It's only on loan.
Director Gary Marshall loved the moment and decided to leave it in the film. It was just too good to cut, he said later. That small, unexpected moment helped show the fun chemistry between the two leads and made the characters even more lovable. 10. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, 2002. Gimli's helmet toss. During a scene where he's supposed to help Gimli across a gap, he grabs the dwarf by the armor and gets ready to throw him. In the process, Viggo accidentally hits himself in the head with Gimli's helmet. Hard. You can actually see his face twist in pain because that hurt was very real. But instead of stopping the scene or asking for a break, he just powered through it. That take made it into the final cut because it looked so raw and genuine. Fans loved it even more knowing what happened behind the scenes. And let's be honest, who hasn't accidentally hit themselves with something heavy while trying to help a friend? 11. Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014. Star-Lord drops the orb. In Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014, there's a scene where Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, is casually tossing a powerful orb in his hands. He looks super cool until he drops it. Yep, that wasn't in the script. Chris accidentally fumbled it, but quickly picked it up and kept going like a pro. Director James Gunn decided to keep the scene because it felt real and fit Peter Quill's slightly clumsy, not-so-perfect superhero vibe. Fans loved it. Chris later joked, "I've got Butterfingers in space." And honestly, that little slip just made Star-Lord feel even more human. 12th. Elf, 2003, mailroom dance scene. Now finally, let's talk about Elf, 2003. In one scene, Buddy the Elf is working in the mailroom, but things take a fun turn when he suddenly jumps up and starts dancing like a happy kid on too much sugar. That silly dance? Totally unplanned. Will Ferrell just started grooving out on set. No choreography, no script, just pure Buddy energy. The cast and crew couldn't stop laughing, and the director loved the vibe.
Sir, Chuck in the mailroom needs to talk to you.
What, Chuck? I mean, what could be going on down there that's so important you had to interrupt me? What?
One crew member even said, "Will just brought that scene to life in his own way." And really, who hasn't danced like a goof when no one's watching? That's what made it so funny and sweet, just like Buddy himself. Which movie scene is your favorite? Do let us know in the comment section below. And for more such amazing videos, do subscribe to our channel.